Hello and welcome to AXCESS Baseball Weekly, the first episode of the 2018 season. I'm your host, Vinny Masana. We're joined by a special guest, Adelphi University ace pitcher, Ed Baram. Eddie, thank you for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Eddie, how do you feel going into the 2018 season?
Very confident. I think we have a great squad. Really have a lot of depth at all positions, especially the staff really has a lot of
You
depth.
guys are loaded in the pitching staff.
As of right now, and everyone looks good. Everyone's healthy, so should be a good year.
Now let's backtrack a little bit. Your first 2 years, you guys missed the postseason. Talk a little bit about what that did to kind of motivate you guys for this year.
Yeah, for at least all the older guys, the upperclassmen, everyone's ready to finally go just playing a playoff game
and get to that next level.
We lost freshman year in a play-in game, and that really hurt. We were the number one seed, actually won the division, and to not even be able to go play for a championship, it really hurt. And then last year, had a great start, and then just trailed off towards the end, and didn't even make the play-in game. So we got a lot to fight for this year, and we could definitely do it.
Now, the last 2 years, you were lucky enough to be on the same pitching staff as bona fide aces. You had Jonathan Mulford in 2016. TJ Santiago last year. So you being a younger guy, were you able to learn a lot from being under the tutelage of those guys?
Yeah, for sure. Freshman year, we had both Mulford and TJ, and they both had great years. And we had pitching coach Salmon, and he would just tell me, just watch what Mulford did, the way he went about his business. Him and TJ, the way they threw with conviction when they're just playing catch, the way they did their bands, the recovery, the running, the working out, all of it, and you learn so much. They're so serious about everything they do, and you just change your mindset about the entire pitching process pretty much.
Now this off season, what did you do in a personal standpoint to kind of get yourself to that next level?
Well, this off season, I had been working out with the strength coach here, probably 4 or 5 days a week in the fall, in preparation for the winter. And in the winter, did the same thing, worked out as much as I could, a lot of strength training. I went to bio pitch in South Jersey, and I did a weighted ball program with TJ, actually. He did it the year before, and I learned a lot of stuff and worked with some great coaches, and got my velo up pretty good for the season. It's just it's pretty much like a weighted ball long toss program. So, in preparation to throw 100 innings this year, plus summer ball, obviously.
And you found that to be effective so far?
Very effective. Arm feels great.
Now, who were some pitchers or athletes in general that you looked up to when you were younger, or maybe even now?
Like Andy Pettit, Nolan Ryan, Mike Mussina. Pretty much, I just, idolized Nolan Ryan. Pitched for 25 years pretty much. Never got hurt until the last day he pitched. He was throwing 96 to the last day he pitched. So,
he's kind of the gold standard of power arms. Now, speaking to that point, you guys are lucky to have a number of power arms on the staff. I was down there in the fall. I was back there since then, and it really, really impressed me. So, what is it going to mean for you as a junior, and kind of you and Taggart kind of taking these younger guys under your wing and kind of doing what you spoke about with yourself as as a freshman with Santiago last year?
Yeah, a lot of we have 6 or 7 freshmen who can really chuck it. Every single one of them is capable of throwing low 90s or whether it's upper 80s, it doesn't even matter. They got great movement and just the way I go about my business. I make sure to be real serious with everything I do, and they just follow suit. And whether it be warming up with a weighted ball, whether it be stretching if they ask me a question, always helping them, trying to show them the right way to do things, the right way to warm up. Because it's all about warming up before you throw. Because a lot of these kids come in from high school not being taught anything. Realistically, and
well, they haven't been through the rigors of the college season yet.
Exactly, and people don't realize even a lot of these freshmen, they're great, but a lot of them are going to be in the bullpen, and you might be throwing every single day. And you never know when you're going to come in. You might have thrown for the last 2 innings in the bullpen, and then you'll go out there. And you got to be ready for it mentally and physically.
So who are some of the freshmen that have really impressed you so far?
Right now, we got Nick Luke, flamethrower. We got Austin Cole, 6'7", throws throws the heck out of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Roven and Max Steele, and they all just throw real hard. They got good off speed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they got great mechanics, especially Nick Luke. You know, he's like, I don't know how tall he is, like 5'6", 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
But
he gets up there in the low 90s.
He is perfect with his mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
The way he, you know, gets into his back hip, falls, you know, just does everything perfect pretty much. You know, if he could just develop, you know, a third pitch, like a solid third pitch, he will be dominant this year.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's not going to be enough room in the rotation for all those guys. So do you think that that's something that's going to be difficult for them to kind of change roles, or you think that that's just going to naturally, you know, fall off the line?
You know, I think as a freshman, like, everyone expects to start.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, they're going to have to come in pretty much. I'm only seeing 1 or 2 of them might be able to start because we got some older guys who are going to start. And they have the stuff to come in for 1 inning, 2 innings, and just dominate. And they have to realize that coming out the pen is probably the most important thing in the game. We got to finish the game. We had trouble with that the last 2 years where we couldn't finish the game. And with their stuff, they should easily cut through lineups 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. And now the NE10 is notorious for low scoring games. You're playing in the Northeast, wood bat, the only wood bat conference remaining in America, and just naturally the offenses are going to be depleted. So, what is it that makes it so tough about this conference? It seems like nobody's really ever able to repeat. It's a lot of parity. So, what have you noticed over the last 2 years?
Well, really, like freshman year, we had Franklin Pierce and Southern New Hampshire, obviously, you know, top 5 teams in the country, and they were dominant. And then we come in last year, and Lemoyne's got the #1 ERA in the nation. New Haven, same thing. They were like 1 and 2, I think. And they just came out of nowhere. And they all hit the ball, and there's just no easy team in the conference. You don't really like no pushover games. Every game you got to fight for. And you got kids coming out of nowhere. You got JoJo on Lemoyne, you know, throwing like 95. And it doesn't get easier by each year, you know.
And especially with those road trips too, you might have to go away on a Thursday and play 2 nationally ranked teams in a weekend. So what has that been like?
You know, we did that freshman year. Went up to Franklin Pierce, played them on a Saturday, 2 on a Saturday, 2 on a Sunday to SNU. And, you know, it's just all about bringing your A game every game because once you like mentally,
that could be a tough weekend.
Yeah, once you let it sink in that you're gonna play some of the best teams in the country, you know, you're already beat. You got to go out there and just know that we're the best. We can beat anyone on any given day. We got the bats, we got the pitching, we got great fielders, and I mean, we could beat anyone on any given day.
Now, it's always cold in February, as we know. You guys are starting March 3rd, but it's still going to be pretty cold. We were talking off the air, you know, about your first start last year. So let's stick on that topic. Is it tough for you to get loose in that weather? Do you prefer it? Maybe it's tougher for the hitters. And how long does it kind of take you to settle in when it's 30, maybe 35 degrees out?
Yeah, I hate the cold, like real bad. But you just surprise yourself because you get to the field and it's freezing. And you're like, how am I gonna warm up? And after like 30 minutes of running around, doing my bands, just doing a bunch of sprints,
getting your body temperature up.
Yeah, just getting the body temp up, and like you just don't feel it anymore. You hop on the mound after the first pitch, you're like playing in the middle of the summer. You don't even realize it, you know.
And that day was cold last year.
Yeah, and you got to realize like these hitters, they don't want to swing the bat. It's so cold, they're gonna break their hands up there, you know. Busting 2 seams in, I mean, no one's really wanting to swing the bat. You know, it's tough out there. It's tough to be a hitter.
Now you mentioned that you guys also position player wise are talented. You have a lot of depth on the team. What do you like about your offense?
We got the making to be a great offensive team this year. We got Steve Withers, you know, at second base. I think he was like second team all region preseason. And he killed it last year, like a 30-game hit streak. Great leadoff batting. We got Johnny I center field, you know, running down balls with Cantani. They're just fighting for it. But, like, you got Brandon Morris. He has the potential to hit, like, 10 home runs. Same with Mom. You know, they both could hit 10 home runs with 50 RBIs easily. It's just, you know, doing it on the field, and I think they could do it this year. We also have Larry Cecilio. He got pretty big over the winter. He's been like hitting balls out left and right in BP. And you know, we got the addition of Tom Colombo at first base, and he's been weighing since Vanny's been playing at first,
he's been in the wings.
Yeah, he's been waiting for his spot, and he hit real good in the fall, like really good. He's been hitting good in practice, so I'm excited to see that.
Now I know it's going to be really important with a good pitching staff that throws really hard, a lot of heavy two-seamers, is the catchers. Are you confident in your group of catchers?
Yeah, we got a good group of catchers. I mean, I would even say we as of right now, probably Tyler Washevsky is going to start day one. But we've had Corey Kasarov. He's been catching me for the last 2 years, and they all catch great games. Him and Kevin Cripple. They're rocks behind the plate. Don't really let too much by them. They all call great games. They're really baseball smart and understand like what we want to throw, and they talk to we got good communication with them. So I'm not too worried about the catchers.
Now you guys have a new pitching coach, Mike Amendola. Obviously inherited a really good staff. Have you been able to build a rapport with him in this short period of time?
Yeah, he's been good with us. He's he's really good with the conditioning and all the warm up. He gave us as soon as we came in. He gave us like a band program, a throwing program, and a lower body circuit to do before we even throw. And it really it's smart in activating your muscles before you throw, because a lot of kids just get up, toss the ball around, but like you got to warm up your body before you throw. And he's good with that, and he's really good with the conditioning. We do a lot of running now, so like we'll be prepared for the season. He's been good.
Now, last summer you had a really good summer. Kind of elevated your draft stock a little bit. Talk a little bit about how you enjoy pitching in a top tier summer league like you did.
Pitching this summer was great. I mean, I went to Wachusett hoping I get good mentors, good coaches, and I fell right into the right place. Dan Gennarelli was my head coach, and he really knows his stuff. Every time I throw a bullpen, he always just critiquing me and giving me advice, and just he used to throw 99 back in the day with the Red Sox, so he was pretty good with it. But like, my first ever start was against Worcester Bravehearts, and there was 4,000 people there, and never been in front of that many people before, and it's just a totally different experience. It was great to play with other great players. You got kids from Vanderbilt, Maine, all these like crazy schools, but like the competition was there, and just to have kids behind you just competing just as bad as you want to compete, it was a perfect mix. I had a great team, great guys. Demers was on that team. He pitched great, and it was good to see him pitch good this summer.
Now, I alluded to the MLB draft. Obviously, it's something that I'm sure it's going to be on your mind a little bit. Do you try to stay away from those distractions?
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, if you get caught up in who's in the stands, if you get caught up about the speed you're trying to throw, you're gonna fail. You can't let the pressure of anything else going outside affect you. You can't, let those thoughts get in your head. Because I go out there my whole life just pitching to dominate. And if you let anything else, if I'm trying to muscle up the ball, I'm gonna get hit. Because I know for a fact when I'm nice and loose, I'm always where I want to be with speed and with location, all that, and I pitch way better, not thinking about anything.
Awesome. Well, Eddie, thank you very much for your time today. For our audience that doesn't know, Eddie's the ace of Adelphi University. They start their season on March 3rd. That wraps up the first edition of AXCESS Baseball Weekly. I'm your host, Vinny Masana. Thank you for tuning in, everyone.